Hello, my name is Douglas Gainor, and we are in Sedona, Arizona at the Institute with Connie and Andrew. They've asked me to sing a song about the meeting of an angel and how I got a beautiful lesson in trust and how trust melts fear away and allows it to manifest in our lives. And after the song we're going to sing, or after the song we were going to tell a little bit of the story. This song is about an angel called Metatron, or Lord Metatron, who came to me on a drive up the coast one day north of Santa Cruz. So we're going to sing the song. Spoke to the King of Angels on a drive just the other day. Asked him if I was crazy. He said yes, yes, and you're having hallucinations. So choose the ones you want. I picked trust and the fear melted away. Hey, never gonna hide my highlight away. Somewhere so special love couldn't find me. Trust is the way, hey. Love is the way, hey. So we were driving in my car. Actually, I was in Santa Cruz before I was driving in my car, and I had gotten a letter in the mail from the court system down in Southern California, where I had had a bit of a legal battle that had been going on in my life over some political things that had got me in some hot water. And I thought it had been pretty much completely resolved, and I had paid my dues and moved forward. But I got this letter in the mail that I opened it up, and it was a warrant for my arrest, saying that I had missed some court date that I didn't even know about. And it was a bench warrant saying I should have been in court 2 weeks ago, and because I hadn't been, I was due to be arrested on site. So I felt pretty upset about that and felt a real good flash of fear come up into my throat and my being, and something just said, why don't you get in your car and take a little drive up the coast? So I got in my car and I was heading up the Highway 1 north of Santa Cruz and dealing with all this, and all of a sudden I felt this really beautiful light coming in off the water, off the ocean, and pretty soon I felt the presence in my car as I drove of a really big and loving, magnificent energy that said to me in a very commanding way, I am not God, I am the voice, I am the right hand of God, and asked me to repeat that because it seemed important that he not be confused as prime source or creator. So I said, okay, you're not God, you are the right hand of God. Might as well have been God as far as I was concerned, because it was such a large and beautiful presence. So I decided to ask him about a personal question about why I was being, again, harassed with this legal matter. And he said to me, think back when you first started all this political stuff that you were doing. It was about 9 years before. And what were you feeling that night as you sat at your computer and got ready to file these papers and make this declaration? And I thought back and I said, well, I was feeling courageous that I was taking on the U.S. government and I was a sovereign. And he said, yeah, but what was the deeper feeling underneath that? And I went in deep inside and I got honest with myself, and I realized I was coming from fear right from the beginning when I made that first step into being a sovereign and into declaring my independence from the IRS and the U.S. government. And I realized I was being in fear because I felt I wouldn't have enough if I paid the government the money that they said I owed them. So, and when I got really honest about it, I realized it wasn't courage, but it was fear that had initiated that whole thing. And he said, exactly. You planted the seeds of fear 9 years ago when you started this, and because of that, it's been coming back to you and coming back to you, just like if you plant tomatoes, they just keep coming back and coming back. And I was a little irritated with him because I said, well, how do I change it? Great. So I planted the seeds. What do I do? He said, choose again. got irritated again. I said, well, it's very easy for a big angel like you to say choose again, but how do I really do that? And he helped me go back in a vision and see myself sitting there at my desk like I had been 9 years ago. And he said, just choose. You choose between fear and trust 4 million times a day. Just say what you want here. Do you want fear or do you want trust? And I kind of almost out of anger, I said to him, I said, well, he said, it's all hallucination here on this planet. Everything is just energy slowed down to manifest how you want it to be. So I said to him, okay, fine, Lord Metatron. I choose trust. And just as I said that, bam, he tapped me right on my third eye, right on my brow. And I was just inundated with a wave of peace that went through my body. I don't know even how I continued to drive the car. I was just so blissed out. And I managed to turn around and head home and pretty much just forgot about the whole warrant thing until the next day when I called down to Southern California to a good lawyer buddy of mine, and I told him that what was happening, and he had handled the case originally for me. He said, well, just relax. I'll go down to court today and I'll check it out for you and see what's going on. And he said, but don't worry about it. Everything's fine. And I said, okay. So I kept in a good frame of mind and kept choosing trust around it as best I could. And then he called me later that day and he said, Douglas, tear that warrant up. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, nothing exists down there. We've checked your records. I've asked them, I'm not going to stir up trouble, but they don't even have any of the old records in their banks, to the computer banks. You don't even exist to them. It's all gone as far as I'm concerned. And he said, if it was me, I would just tear the warrant up, which is what I did. I tore the warrant up and I went upon my way. But what an amazing lesson for me about how I was creating seeds of fear in my life, guised under this veneer of courage or bravado or whatever it appeared to be to me at the time, but the deeper emotion was fear. And for me to get that lesson from the angel really reminded me. But the thing that was interesting about it was 24 hours later, I was back in my fear again. I woke up in the morning and I realized how every day I have to continually, almost every minute, I have to continually keep choosing trust. Otherwise, it's so easy with the pattern that I've been in, and probably most other people, is to go back into the old frequency of fear and then start manifesting fear in my life. And now I'd like to sing some more of the song that we started off with, and the name of the song is called Spoke to God. Spoke to God on the porch just the other day. You'd be surprised, yeah, what she had to say. She said how much she loves me, and however proud she is of me. So don't you ever hide your light away. Somewhere so special love couldn't find you. There's nowhere my love couldn't find you. Love's still the way. Trust is the way. Come on now, let's walk in gratitude.